Hello and welcome back to music class. Yesterday we talked about the musical staff and the relationships between notes on the staff, between the lines and the spaces, and where they are apart from each other. I'm actually going to put all of these things we've been learning, steps, skips, repeats, and even some new ones to come, in the same umbrella, so to say, and that is called an interval. An interval is the distance between two notes. So when we look at steps, steps have a small interval. They are close together. The notes are right above or below each other by what's called a step. Now when we look at skips, they're not too far apart from each other, but they are further than a step because they skip a note in the middle. If you look at repeats, they really have no interval because they are the exact same. They do not change. So that distance is what is called intervals. So we're going to keep this moving, and I actually want to talk to you guys also about something called a melody. A melody is the most important part of a song, and when the intervals work together, they create that part that you follow. It usually is the part that has words or the part that pops out of the music so that you're able to hear it. So if you had a song like Havana, ooh na na, half of my heart is in Havana, ooh na na. That is the part you listen to. It's the most important part of the song. There are other things that go on and are played underneath, but that is the part that you follow. Now your assignment today is actually going to be to look at a melody, which is a bunch of intervals that happen one after another, and figure out what is happening during it. If the notes move by a skip, by a step, if they repeat, and then you are going to find out what song that it is from. So I'm going to throw it over and show you this assignment, which is called Mystery Melody Maker. All right, everybody, so this is Mystery Melody Maker. Here are the directions. Your goal is to write out the melody to a mystery song by following the directions on each slide. Move each music note into its correct position by comparing it to the note before. When you're done, click the question mark on the last slide to find out what song this melody is from. So I'm going to show you guys an example of how this works. So when you look, this is kind of our practice slide here, and we start, and we've got a starting note that you see is in a space right here. The directions in between say skip up, which means the next note that we put needs to be a skip up from the first one. So I know a skip goes from a space to a space or a line to a line. So I know that this one is going to be either in a space down here or up here. Ooh, if I get it the right size, there we go. But the directions tell us to skip up. So I'm going to put it in the space above. I'm going to take it and slide it up here. Take me a couple tries. Whoop. There we go. So we know it has skipped up from the one that was there. Now, when we compare our next note, we're not comparing to the very first one. We're comparing to the note that came right before it. So we're going to compare the pink note, and they want the next one to be a step down from the pink note. Now, as a reminder, steps are just one move. It's not a space to a space or a line to a line. This one goes space to line. So the pink note is in a space, so I know that the next one, the blue note, either needs to go up here or down here. Now the directions tell us it's going to step down, so we know that it's going to be in the next space below it, and actually where I ended it up, and that would be creating the melody. Now that one's just a test one. That one's not actually part of the mystery melody. You'll need to do the next three. 1, 2, 3, and it's only a total of 6 notes, so it's really nothing. And then when you get on, there will be a last slide that you can click on to see what that melody is from. Before you move on to your assignment, take a minute to review what the different intervals look like. How steps look like they move from a line to a space or a space to a line. Look at the skips, how they skip a note in the middle, so they go from a space to a space or a line to a line. Also, check out repeats and how the note is written on the exact same line or space as the one before it. Before we wrap this up, I just wanted to talk to you a minute about why we are learning about this. Why are we learning how to look at a music staff? Why are we learning about intervals? Why is it important? Well, I'm going to relate it a little bit back to something that you've already done in school, which is learning to read. When you were first learning to read, you figured out the different sounds of the word and put them together, but you also had things called sight words. Sight words were ones that you could look at and immediately know what word it is. That's what we're working on with intervals. We want to be able to look at them and quickly know the distance between them. Why? Because it makes you quicker at reading music and it makes it easier for you to put it along with an instrument. If I know that from one note to the next that they are a step right beside each other, if I was playing an instrument like the xylophone, I know that it's going to be the note right beside it. It makes it quicker and it gives you freedom to look at music and be able to figure it out and play it on your own. You don't have to look at every single note and say, oh, well, what is this one? What is this note name? And sometimes it's good to be able to do that, but knowing the relationship between notes allows you to read whatever music that you want to as long as you have the starting note. So I hope that lets you know why this is important, and we're going to continue to talk about that, and you're going to be able to see it yourself. So I look forward to seeing your assignments here with the Mystery Melody Maker, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks for checking in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!